Hey, everybody, this is the Film Tangent Show. If you clicked on this video thinking this was something else, please don't go. Please stay.
Yeah,
Please
yeah, yeah.
listen to the podcast.
Yeah. Listen to us and my wonderful audio here. I may have to get a new microphone. We'll see. I hope not. I just tried to use a new cord and that didn't work. So I'm a defeated man, Edward.
Yeah, it's all good, dude. Everybody,
Um,
everybody still hates us. So it's not.
yeah.
Yeah.
They hit us in equal measure.
Yeah. What is it? Didn't we say this last time? What is it? That one of us is. What is it? Both of us are the OP. Is that what it was?
Yeah, both of us are OP. Like there's no Anthony and Jim Norton. It's like two OPs basically.
Yeah, it's just two OPs. But I think today you will be OP squared, and I will just be normal, average OP.
That is true. Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, so as foreshadowed with last week's episode, my microphone has unfortunately decided to turn on me. It was trying to tell me
last week. It was giving you signs, dude.
Yeah, because if you listen to the whole commentary, you'd hear some here and there. It wasn't bad, but it was like here and there some audio issues, and then a few points where I'm like, Edward, can you hear me? Can you hear me? But so here we are. I'm gonna be on my phone this week, and hopefully we can get this squared away.
Yeah. But again, thank you for joining us, guys. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel, or unlike and unsubscribe, do whatever you want. But also follow the podcast on Apple Podcasts.
Thumbs down. Yeah.
Give a thumbs down, then give us a thumbs up.
Give 1 million. Let's get 1 million dislikes on this video.
If you could, let's get 1 million. Let's make that. If we do that, then our channel ceases to exist. YouTube is this channel is problematic. There's a bunch of dislikes here. But again, thank you for supporting us. If you're listening, it means a lot. Leave a comment in the comments. If you're listening to this point of the video, I guess the question for today for you guys is going to be, who is your favorite tennis player, or just your favorite athlete altogether if you don't listen to tennis? I've been all about tennis lately because the French Open has been going on.
Okay. Who's your favorite athlete, Edward?
Rafael Nadal. The GOAT.
Okay. Yeah. For me, it's
the GOAT in my heart. Most people would say it's Djokovic, but Nadal's the GOAT in my heart.
Really? Yeah. What makes Nadal better?
Dude, I can go on about this stuff for years.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that me and Jack and I, Jack, friend of the podcast, who might make an appearance at some point. I'm foreshadowing him. That one time that we went hiking, he and I, that's the whole him and I were just talking about it the whole time, talking about tennis.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, the thing is that, tennis is a sport of small margins. It's all about very small margins. And it's a very poetic sport. And to me, I have a lot of love for Rafael Nadal as a tennis player, just because I've found him to be kind of in an interesting way, the most, you could say, poetic. It's just such a fascinating thing watching that guy play. But again, it's just small margins, because the thing is that all of it has come down to who has the most majors, and Rafa has 22 and Djokovic has 24. And that's kind of where has kind of made it to where it's Djokovic is the GOAT, Rafa has 22. And obviously everybody knows who Roger Federer is. Roger has 20. So Roger is kind of been crowned third best by extension. But despite that, despite Djokovic having those two on Nadal, I still think Nadal's better than him. But numbers-wise, the other guy has the numbers, so you kind of have to go with that.
I gotcha. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, for me, it's got to be probably Brock Lesnar, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
I think we left that as a question last episode. If you did not get to that point of the episode, this is gonna be the same question from last episode. Would you be willing to do that? We can do it simultaneously.
Oh yeah. Let's do this.
The answer to that question from last week was Brock Lesnar.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, those 2 episodes ago when we did that. Let's do this. Yeah, that's Brock Lesnar during when he was cutting his, that's because he had Paul Heyman a lot of the time for his doing his promos for him in WWE. But sometimes he would do his own too, which I think he cuts pretty good promos as well. Like he's pretty good on the mic. I think he's actually really good on the mic. He's not quite like CM Punk level on the mic, but I would say he's up there. And yeah, his voice cracks when he yells. That's definitely something about Brock Lesnar. But no, partially for WWE, but obviously for UFC as well. Yeah, probably Brock Lesnar, dude. Because Brock Lesnar, he's like a once in a generation athlete. That guy's like a freak. And obviously, I mean, especially like his early WWE career. I mean, you look at that guy and it's like there's probably like not even one trace of blood in his steroid stream, but at the same time, the dude is like a freak of nature. Steroids are not, and you gotta if you look at the guy's career, because like I actually read his autobiography back in December. Listened to it on audio. It's called Death Clutch: My Story of Determination, something like that.
Story of steroid use.
right. Yeah, determination, steroid use.
He's gonna come find us.
Yeah. Oh my God! Can you imagine how scary that would be if Brock Lesnar busted open your door?
Yeah.
Just like heard you were talking some shit. Heard you. I gotta try to get good at the Brock Lesnar, dude. Heard you were talking shit. How was it? That was pretty good, wasn't it?
Look, man, what I can't not tell you is that I know exactly what Brock Lesnar sounds like, but what I can say is that sounds hilarious.
But yeah, it's like a little higher pitch to it than I did. It's like heard you were. I heard you were talking some shit, motherfucker. We're gonna get there, dude. We're gonna get there.
Oh God! I have to listen to some interviews.
Yeah. Well, I can't. It's like I either go too high or too low.
Well, for everybody listening, Jake somehow just you went out for a second.
Yeah. I have app limits, and so it kicked me off of Teams for a second.
Okay.
I have like screen time limits. Anyway, let me try to stay on topic.
Did you take that off? Will this happen? Will this happen again in 20
minutes?
No,
yeah. Let me take it off. Hold up.
So the audience will remain like in constant anticipation. Like, when is it gonna happen? When is it gonna go off the call again?
Oh God. Our audience is probably so annoyed with this episode already.
This episode's been hilarious. I
got to do more of that. I got to do more of like practicing, trying to perfect impersonations on air. Mm-hmm. That was a come town tradition that I really liked. Nick Mullen would try to perfect impressions on impersonations. Yeah, like live on the podcast. But anyway, yeah, dude. So Brock Lesnar, like after WWE, the dude went to the NFL and got all the way through the training camp, made it like all the way to the end. Mm. Never played football in his life, dude. The only reason he didn't make it onto the Vikings was because he went for like a motorcycle joyride and like got into an accident and injured himself. And he still finished training. He just didn't like make the cut or whatever. And then he went into MMA. And again, dude, people said like there were people because, he got laughed at the time. It was like, oh, this WWE guy is trying to come do MMA. Mind you, he was an NCAA heavyweight champion wrestler in college. So he did have chops, but again, people just saw him as like the WWE guy. But even so, there were experts that said like this guy should not, like, is not going to make it. You know, he's like, his first fight in the UFC was against Frank Mir, a former UFC heavyweight champion. And when he came in, I mean, he became champion Brock Lesnar within like a year or two.
Yeah.
And with, I think his third fight, he became champion. And dude, it's crazy because there were experts that said, like MMA experts that were like, there's no, like, that guy should not have been able to do all that. Like, he did not train nearly enough. He did not have enough time to actually like prepare. Mm-hmm. But the dude is just such a freak of nature that he just, you know, he just walked in there and fucking just mauled everybody. I mean, dude, if you watch that, you know, he lost his first fight against Frank Mir. But Frank Mir kind of got a lucky win on him. Mm-hmm. Like, he caught him in like a knee bar. But Brock Lesnar was like wailing on him at the beginning of that match, dude. Yeah. Wailing on him. Takes him down in the first 2 seconds of the match and just fucking wails on him, dude. And for those reasons, and also I find him incredibly entertaining, and his story is really inspirational. Because, you know, you look at these, whatever business it is, you look at someone's career trajectory and it looks like smooth. Like, if you just read about it on Wikipedia, you're like, oh, that's like a smooth ass life right there, you know? But like Brock Lesnar, dude, he like really just met like, you know, obstacle after obstacle after obstacle, you know? After he left WWE, trying to kind of like get to the top. And then even in UFC, he had to retire before he really wanted to because he got diverticulitis, which is a digestive disease, because he was like only ate meat for like 10 years.
He became which a meat, like such, he was a true meathead, dude.
Yeah. It's such a Brock Lesnar thing to do. Like, right, I'm not going to eat this damn salad. I'm just eating elk and black bear.
For 10 years.
Yeah, holy for 10 years. I don't want to eat the damn... Hang on. I don't... shit, I can't do it, man. His voice is too hard to get. I can't really get it.
It's like so specific.
Yeah. I got it one time. It was a very specific thing because, like, in the book, it talks about... there's a part that made me laugh where he, like... It talks about how he, like, I think, like, out of high school, he tried to do, like, some kind of work for, like, the Coast Guard or something like that, but he, like, failed a computer test. Like a computer literacy test.
Okay, I see.
And so I was, and I got it because I was imagining him sitting there just being like, this damn computer isn't doing what I want it to do. Like smashing the keyboard, you know?
Bam, bam, bam.
The mental image, like when I heard that, I just started dying because the mental image of Brock Lesnar, like this meathead just at a computer, like just like this damn computer. Yeah. For those who can't see, Edward was just pecking, doing like 2 index fingers, pretending to peck at a keyboard. Exactly. No, exactly. That's how I picture it. Like just smashing the keyboard, people being like, Brock, calm down. This damn computer isn't doing what I want it to do.
It's like starts wrestling the computer. I'm gonna pin it to submission.
He's just like, yeah. I can just picture his voice cracking too. This goddamn computer. Fucking thing sucks. Oh my god, that's so funny. Anyway, that's why Brock Lesnar's my favorite athlete.
Dude,
either that or John Jones, probably, you know, pretty much the greatest martial artist in the world.
Dude,
John Jones.
You see the guy that was like high or something? Did he get suspended for something?
Yeah. Yeah, he was doing coke.
Yeah.
That's the thing, dude. It sucks because with both Lesnar and Jones, it's like we never really got to see. And Jones is still like It's tough though. It's tough because Jones has some fight left in him, and there's some new plans for him and everything. And we'll see kind of like what he does. I think. Let me see. John Jones. What's his next fight gonna be? Anyway, like, but yeah, it's kind of a shame because him and Brock Lesnar, dude, it's like these guys who are great, you never get to see like their full potential because of like with Jones, it was like the coke and getting suspended and all that, and like also legal issues. And then Brock Lesnar, it's like the, diverticulitis is disease. You know what I mean? Like it's like you had these like greats, and it's like they didn't get to like really hit their full potential.
Who did he have to forfeit the title to because of the coke?
I don't remember.
It was that one guy, right? Like he's like a commentator right now.
It wasn't Daniel Cormier.
It wasn't Cormier. I thought it was Cormier.
No, because basically John Jones, if I remember correctly, this is what happened. He forfeited it. He defended the title against Cormier.
Yeah.
Cormier lost, and then John Jones at one point forfeited the title. Then Daniel Cormier won the title. Like, I don't think you don't forfeit it to anybody. Someone's actually got to like.
Someone has to win it. Then it just becomes like
vacated.
Vacated. Yeah.
Exactly. And then John Jones, in his second fight, came back and he beat Daniel Cormier and took it back, basically.
Poor Cormier. Didn't he cry after that or something?
Yeah, the second one, yeah. Because Joe Rogan just goes up to him while he's still like half knocked out, and it's just like Daniel, how you feeling?
That's right.
Daniel's just like, oh no, man. That was tough to watch.
Because it was tough for Cormier. Because people were accusing him of being like a fake champion and being like, well, it's not your title. And then basically John Jones comes back and basically proves that it was true.
Right, exactly, because he didn't beat John Jones for it. So, and John, of course, before the fight, John Jones is like, "Oh, that's a fake belt you're holding.
Exactly.
I'm gonna take it back. It's coming home with me."
Yeah, and he proved that to be true. He backed it up.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe. Let me see. Yeah, no, he's not. John Jones is not the champion right now, right?
What's his record?
No. Oh man, he's undefeated.
Really? So he's an insane man.
So one loss, but it was by DQ.
I see.
And that was like in The Ultimate Fighter, that TV show. So it wasn't really even like a real UFC fight. It was like that reality show. Yeah. It was basically like NXT, but for MMA, where like they had two fighters and they each had a team,
Yeah, I'm looking at his record right now. So it's 21 total matches, 27 wins, 10 of them by knockout, 10 by decision, 7 by submission, 1 loss by disqualification.
Yeah, so he's never been defeated. And I don't know if this is still true, but I don't think he's ever been even taken down. Pretty sure. Let me fact check myself. Has John Jones been taken down? Has never been knocked down or submitted in MMA competition. Yeah. Crazy. Yeah, he's wild, dude. Wild. Yeah. And he's a dirty fighter too, which is crazy. Like he does, if you watch his fights, he'll poke people in the eye and he'll stomp their knee too.
Jesus Christ.
He's vicious, dude. But yeah, so I'd say either him or Brock Lesnar. It's kind of a tie between them for my favorite athlete.
A lot of the time, it's like how long until it happens? Because I think that was maybe like that guy Tyson Fury. Like I know that he also has like let me look him up because I know that guy like almost lost recently. Yeah, he total fights 36, wins 34, wins by KO 24. I mean, this guy's a beast. One loss apparently. But it's like apparently, he's been like on this like crazy run, and I think on one of his last like matches, he almost like lost to a guy, but the decision went to
Yeah.
him anyway.
Yeah.
But
It'll every streak will end at some point
yeah,
unless they retire early.
yeah. But let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question to go off of this topic that we're
Yeah.
this funny topic that we've been in. I'm gonna give you a series of names one by one, okay? And all of these guys are WWE wrestlers, either past or present. And what I'm gonna ask you is, like, do you think that you would last at least 3 minutes with this person on the ring without like giving up, like just their full power for 3 minutes?
Like, so, and it's a WWE wrestler, and it's a fight, like a real fight,
like a real fight.
Okay.
And it's whether or not you think you can actually last 3 minutes with them.
Last 3 minutes. Okay. And what is it, like street rules or MMA or
MMA?
What? Like MMA, okay, but with a WWE wrestler.
With a WWE wrestler. Yeah, because Lesnar inspired that thought, because it was like obviously he went from WWE to that.
Yeah.
So I want to match. I want to match you up with
it. Yeah.
Do you think you can last 3 minutes on an MMA ring with John Cena? And it's like all these guys now this second, not like at their prime or anything like
that. With John Cena, probably not. He's pretty strong. He's huge. Probably not.
He is huge.
I mean, he's obviously roided, but like no, I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
Like last 3 minutes. Depends on how hard he went, I guess. I mean, let's say they're going full power, like they're going
full power. Yeah, they have an incentive. Yeah. They have an incentive to kill you. So they're going full power. Like they've been promised like $1 billion if they kill you in those 3 minutes.
Oh yeah.
or even if not kill you, at least like knock you out or something, or make you tap out.
Yeah, I don't think so. John Cena's like 280 pounds of muscle, dude. Yeah. Probably not.
Okay, so this is the next guy.
No.
So this is the next guy, Rey Mysterio.
Yes. Yeah.
Why?
I would.
Could you explain? Can you explain why you think you can last? Why do you think you can last with Rey Mysterio?
Well, yeah, because people listening to this too. By the way, I do Muay Thai. I've been training Muay Thai kickboxing for 3 years, so I have some. I'm by no means like any more than like an intermediate, level. I might even still be at beginner. I don't really know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know how to like throw Muay Thai strikes, and I've sparred like actual Muay Thai fighters and stuff, like so. That's my background, just for context. But yeah, no, Rey Mysterio would have to worry about surviving 3 minutes with me, dude. 100%, dude. Because he's 5'6" and like he's not in like good shape either.
Yeah, not
and
anymore.
He doesn't know how to fight. Yeah. There's no evidence that he does any sort of martial arts, so he's not been in good shape for a long time. I mean, in 2010, the dude had like a beer gut.
Yeah, he let go.
Yeah. No, I would absolutely wipe the fucking mat with Rey Mysterio.
Okay, so we have that. So basically, so far your record is, KO'd by Cena, but destroyed Rey Mysterio. Okay, so do you think you can take Mr. Paul White?
The Big Show?
The Big Show, yeah.
No. No way, dude. Big Show? Hell no, man. That guy would kill me. Nobody could bat. Dude, you could put a pro against
that huge man.
Yeah, like, dude, if you put like Conor McGregor in the ring with Big Show, I think Big Show would probably kill him, dude. Like, despite having no like martial arts background, I don't think Conor no. Size matters, dude. Anyone who tells you that size doesn't matter in a fight is bullshitting you. Like, it is what I have sparred people in Muay Thai. It's a lot easier to spar someone who's at your weight or lower. Not always. I mean, I've still had people lighter than me, beat me pretty good in sparring because they were in way just better condition and had more experience. But there's a threshold for size where it gets to a certain point. Like there's a video of Conor McGregor sparring with the Mountain from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and the Mountain's just tossing him around like it's nothing.
Yeah, I saw that. Okay, so far your record is
2-1.
Yeah, 2-1. Destroyed by Cena and the Big Show. Beat Rey Mysterio.
1-2. So 1 me, 2 W.
2 to the WWE.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
This is fun.
let's see who we compare you up with. Okay, so you versus Jerry the King Lawler.
Yeah, I'd whoop Jerry. I'd whoop the shit out of that guy.
Do you think Jerry has a shot?
No, not at all. He wouldn't. I'd beat him inside of 3 minutes for sure. I'd whoop his ass at any point. By the way, in his career, I'm pretty sure.
Do you think he would commentate you beating his ass as you're beating his ass?
I hit him and he's just like, "Oh my god!"
Or we would have,
look at this.
We would have to have JR like commentating.
My God, Jake has just kicked Jerry Lawler in the nuts. Jake has just kicked Jerry Lawler in the side of the head, and by God, I don't think he's breathing.
He killed him.
Yeah. I'd whoop Jerry.
Okay, so now you're 2-2.
Yep.
Okay, let's bring in the next one. Could you last 3 minutes in the ring versus Shelton Benjamin?
No. Oh my God, dude. No. Hell no. Shelton Benjamin was a NCAA college wrestler.
He wasn't he?
Also, he's huge.
Jacked. Yeah, he's huge and he's jacked.
Yeah, no way, dude. No way. That guy would murder me. 2-3.
Okay, so let's see. Would you last at least 3 minutes in the WWE ring with? Let me see. What is this? What's it? Beth Phoenix.
Well, yeah, I could last 3 minutes against Beth Phoenix.
Can you beat Beth Phoenix inside of 3 minutes?
Yeah, I think so.
If
she has no martial arts. Yeah, if she has no martial arts experience, no.
She's jacked.
She is jacked, but I think I could beat Beth Phoenix.
You think you can beat Beth Phoenix? Huh.
Yeah, no, I think so.
Anybody listening to this, reach out to Beth Phoenix.
Set it up for charity.
Set it up. Yeah, let's do it for charity. 3 minutes in an MMA ring, Jake versus Beth Phoenix.
I could beat that.
Would you do it? Like if they organized this like a charity thing, would you do it?
Yeah, I would.
That sounds dope. Somebody listening to this, make that happen.
if I got paid something.
Yeah. On top of the benefit of it all.
Yeah.
Okay, so right now you are 3-2. You're doing great against the WWE Superstars, dude.
No, 3.
Oh, 3-3. That's right, 3-3.
3-3.
Because Shelton was also going to take you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do this now. You versus MVP.
He's pretty short.
He's 6'3".
Oh no, okay. Oh, I thought he was short.
He just looks short. Because he wears those. He wears those onesies, dude.
He looks short to me, dude. I don't think he's 6'3".
It says he's 6'3" here. He's 50 years old and he's 6'3".
6'3", 259. I think I could last. Yeah, I don't see any. Let's see. What's he done? Let me see. I'm just gonna see what his background is. It doesn't look like he has any fighting background. I think I could last 3 minutes.
Yeah, he's gained some weight since his wrestling days.
I could last 3 minutes against him, but I don't know if I could beat him.
So this would be.
It says here he was. I just glanced at his biography. It said he was like in gangs and stuff. So he's definitely like been in more fights than I've been in.
Yeah. But you think so? Basically,
I can last.
So you can last 3 minutes. So this is one where you're not going to defeat him, but you guys are both going to be standing at the end of this thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I can beat him or not, but I know I could last 3 minutes.
Okay, so now you are 3-1.
Okay.
3 wins, 3 losses, and 1 draw.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, let's bring in somebody else.
This is fun, dude.
Can you take on the Undertaker?
No.
Really, dude? But
Dude,
he's like so old right now. He's had so many surgeries.
Nah, because he does MMA. Like, he's into
Really?
MMA,
Huh.
and he's 7 feet tall, dude. No way. Undertaker. I don't think I last 3 minutes against an Undertaker.
You don't think so? You don't think there's a way?
I mean, you're right. He is old, but
He's so old, man.
he's so athletic.
He's had so much
dude.
surgery.
Yeah, he is so athletic.
I mean,
though,
how old is this guy? How old is he anyway? Mark
He's probably
Calloway.
60, right?
He's 59.
Yeah, okay. I was close.
And he's 6'10", and he's 300 pounds.
No way, dude. He'd probably. Plus, he's an MMA enthusiast. Like, I'm pretty sure that guy does MMA as a hobby and has been for a long time too. Because like he started doing the MMA gloves and everything in WWE, like because of his love for MMA. So no way.
Okay.
I mean, he's been training MMA for at least probably like 20 years. No.
Okay.
Undertaker.
Okay, so now you are 3-4-1. I'm gonna give you the last couple ones. Can you take on Jeff Hardy?
Yeah, I'd whoop Jeff Hardy. I'd beat Jeff Hardy's ass. Yeah, I'd whoop his ass. How tall is he?
6'1", 225 pounds. Yeah.
So he's like my size. I thought he was smaller than that. Yeah, but he's got no like training or anything, and he doesn't have a size advantage over me.
He's got some athleticism.
Yeah, I would say I can beat Jeff Hardy up.
You can beat Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Let's see. Moving on. From Mr. Jeff Hardy. Can you beat... So right now you're what? 4-4-1, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yes, you're holding even. Like you're doing pretty good. You're doing pretty good. Let's see. Okay.
You've been pretty fair too.
Yeah, because obviously it's like I'm trying to balance this thing out. Where it's like not, it's like, oh, you were Mark Henry. It's like, okay, oh, okay. How is that gonna go? So let's see. You, Mr. Jake, versus Chris Jericho.
I could last 3 minutes probably, but I don't know if I'd beat him because he doesn't have any martial arts background as far as I know, but he's a tough guy.
He's still active. He's still wrestling.
Yeah, and he's like a tough guy. Like he almost fought Brock Lesnar for real, like backstage, which he wouldn't have won against Brock Lesnar, but he's got like balls, you know what I mean? So he's like a tough guy, you know what I mean? So I don't know if I can beat him. I could last 3 minutes, I think, though.
Okay.
Because he's not that like 5'10", maybe.
Yeah, he's 6 even. It says here.
Yeah, and he's not. Yeah, he's older now too. I think I could last 3 minutes, but I don't think I could. I don't know if I could win.
Okay. All right. So now you are 4-4-2. And this is the final one, dude. This is the final one.
Okay.
This is the final one. This is the final one for all the money to untie this whole mess that we have going on here. You versus Santino Marella.
I'd whoop that guy.
Let's look Santino up, dude. Santino Marella.
Yeah, I'd whoop that his ass.
Canadian professional wrestler.
Does he have any? I don't think he's got any martial arts background, does he?
227 pounds. Let me see.
Some of these guys you got to factor in if they've been like amateur wrestlers, like if they've been actual like high school wrestlers, collegiate.
It says here that Santino trained in judo. It says Carelli, which is his name. He's born Antonio Carelli. He's trained in judo at the age of 9 and also competed in high school wrestling, winning the Region of Peel's Secondary School Athletic Association tournament back-to-back as a junior and as a senior.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Oh, dude, and he did. He competed in mixed martial arts.
Yeah,
he claims the 6-1 record. Oh, so no.
6-1 record. Wow. Although only one fight is confirmed. Okay.
Oh yeah, no. Then I wouldn't last 3 minutes against
Dude, you wouldn't
Santino.
last 3 minutes with Santino, man. The joke of
See,
the
that's why you
WWE.
can't judge you
Exactly.
can't judge a book by its cover. That's
Exactly.
good that we did the
The education.
edification. Dude.
But I wanted to leave
Because
Santino
you
for
don't want to be
last.
like I never want to be so. That's the thing about martial arts is it humbles you,
It
and
humbles. Yeah, for sure.
you will learn to not be like I laugh so hard, like being someone who's done martial arts. I laugh so hard at like guys who like puff their chests out who have never done martial arts, who are like, I'd beat someone's ass, I'd beat this guy's ass, I'd beat that guy's ass. It's like, shut up.
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
Martial arts does teach you to like be humble.
Yeah.
And like, realize the reality is that like a lot of people are going to be able to beat you up, and you can sort of like, increase your odds against like martial arts will give you a leg up on like the average person. You know what I mean? Like I'm confident against any like untrained fighter who's like my size or below.
Yeah.
I'll whoop their ass. But people who are like bigger than me or
have training
or trained, no way, dude. Like who are like trained longer than me and stuff, no way. And you got to be like, and also, but I want to walk that back a little bit. I don't claim to be able to. I'm not necessarily even saying anyone my size or below untrained. You never know, dude.
Yeah.
Someone could just be like scrappier than you, more aggressive than you, tougher than you, be able to take more damage than you can. Like that's why you do not want to be one of those people who goes around puffing their chest out looking for fights.
Right.
Like
right. That's true.
It's a last resort.
Yeah. But that's why I left Santino for last, because I was like, Santino's gonna be interesting because it will be like a great because it's like you think about Santino and always you think about him as a joke, because that's what this is what they had him do, and obviously like our reaction was like, of course you're gonna be Santino, but then we look into the guy and it's like, oh shit, the guy actually has like some accreditation to him. He's not just some chump.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, dude. Well, that was fun, man.
Yeah. I liked it, dude. That. Yeah, I guess the overall record is 4 wins, 5 losses, 2 draws against the WWE Superstars.
Yeah. What about you, Edward? You think you could take on Shelton Benjamin, dude?
Yeah, dude. All those guys would probably destroy me. I feel like the only one that I would have like a shot with would be like Rey Mysterio. We can scrap this out. Let's see how this goes, Mr. Mysterio.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Beth Phoenix would cook me, dude. Pick me up and throw me down.
Do you know she's married to Edge?
I knew that. That's right. She is married to Edge.
Which I would have. That'd be interesting to know. Edge. I mean, Edge. He's like 6'5", so I don't know. I don't know. I could probably last 3 minutes against him, but in an MMA fight. But I don't know about beating him, dude.
Yeah, I don't know about that guy. I left that guy out.
It's a tall order.
Yeah, I left that guy out. I was like, I don't know about that guy. Oh, because I was like, I don't know about that guy.
Yeah.
But what do you say, man? For the sake of our late start and keeping this podcast a little short, we can get into our recaps.
Yeah, that sounds good. You go ahead, man.
Okay, I have 2 things. I didn't watch any movies, and I only listened to 1 album. So I'll start with what I did watch. With you can pitch into this if you want to. But I watched the Netflix show Tires. For those who do not know, it's a Netflix show starring Shane Gillis, so popular comedian Shane Gillis, and it's like him and a couple other comedians, because the whole show I was like, oh, there's that guy, oh, there's that guy. Stavros Halkias from C-Town fame is there. Steve Gervin also stars in the show. He's like the main guy. I didn't know who that guy was, but all these guys are comedians in the show. And let me see. It was created by Gillis, Gervin, and this guy named John McKeever, and John McKeever directed every episode. On Netflix right now, I believe it's just 6 episodes. Each episode is like six. It's like 20-ish, 20 plus minutes long. Like the show is basically the length of like a normal average like sitcom. And the show is shot on that like kind of like mockumentary style, like The Office style,
Yeah.
kind of show. And it's just very crass. It's just like very crass, very like lowbrow humor. And yeah, in a way, a lot of it kind of comes across as kind of like broy humor, just like dudes trying to make each other laugh, and the whole cast is dudes except for like one. They have one female cast member in their tire shop, and then there's also like recurring like female characters in the show too. I would say it was a fun time. That's really like as that's most the most that I can say. There are a lot of cracks on the show, and it shows like how little budget they have because the whole show takes place on the exact same like on just one location. The tire shop is the entire show is just the tire shop. Um,
Yeah.
but that being said, despite being like a really low budget show, despite like how lowbrow the humor was, like I still ended up having fun with it, and I still ended up like watching like I mean I watched the whole show. I watched all the 6 episodes. Um, would I recommend this show? No, but if you're somebody who likes Shane Gillis, or if you like Stavros, or if you just like more so like crude humor, I would say go ahead and check the show out. That's really like all I have to say. Netflix like renewed it for a second season before it even premiered, so I guess they really like the show. Um, but if another season does come back for the show, I'll check it out. Hopefully it'll be better, and hopefully they'll hire like actual, hopefully they'll hire like actual like TV writers because Gillis and Gervin and the other guy, those guys writing the show is not it's not good enough. They need to get they need to get actual writers to write the show. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, other than that, I listened to let me see this album right here. Um, I listened to Blood by Kelsey Lou. This is a 2019 pop and R&B album. I'm pretty sure this is another album that I found just through sheer, just like people talking about it at the time. Um, and I thought this album was pretty good. This album is a combination of like kind of more new age like pop sensibilities. There are times where her vocals and the things that she's doing in the songs is reminiscent of like Kali Uchis or at times like Billie Eilish. Um, and at the same time, there are things that she does in her music that is very reminiscent of Joanna Newsom, the folk like really like brilliant instrumentalist. I talked about Joanna Newsom earlier in this kind of album alphabetical listening thing that I've been doing. Um, so she's interesting. I feel like she doesn't meet kind of like the heights of any of those other artists that I just mentioned in terms of like quality or vocal performance or like intricacy of like production. But I still thought the album was pretty solid. If I were to recommend a couple of songs off of this album, I would say Pushing Against the Wind is a pretty good song. Why Knock for You, I thought was a very strong song. And then also Poor Fake. She also has a cover of the song I'm Not in Love in this album, which I was not a fan of at all. Um, for those who don't know, there's a song called "I'm Not in Love" by the band called 10cc, and their version of this I'm a very big fan of. But Kelsey Lou's version of the song, I just thought she didn't really do much with the song. Initially I thought she was taking it in a different direction, and she just kind of did like a more generic like cover of the song. But that being said, I still recommend the album. I still thought it was good. And then that's it. I'm moving from there to Mr. Kendrick Lamar. And that's it for me for my recap. What do you got, sir?
Nice, man. I'll be looking forward to that Kendrick.
I know it's coming.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, to kind of add to the tires thing, I only watched the first episode. I don't know if I'm gonna really watch the rest of it. The only reason I was
you're not missing out on anything.
Yeah, the only reason I was interested in it was just because of the cast, Shane Gillis and Stav, honestly.
And Stav is like basically in every episode.
Yeah, and
Mm.
and so I wanted to ask you this too. What are your thoughts on Stav's acting?
I thought he was the best one in the show. He was
Really?
the best one.
I find his acting a little clunky. Like it
Yeah.
felt like it looked like a guy acting to
Yeah,
me.
but that's the thing. Everybody else is ass. Like Shane, everybody else in the show is complete ass. Like all of them are
Really?
just
You thought
playing
Shane was?
in the sense that, and this is what I mean by that. Like in the sense that all of them, including Shane, are just playing themselves. Like Shane is just playing Shane Gillis. Like
Yeah,
he's writing the show. So basically, he's just writing jokes for himself,
yeah.
and his character doesn't have like challenges. Like his character doesn't have like a spectrum of emotions. Like none of the characters in the show, except for Stavros' character, none of the characters have to express like more than just being angry or trying to be funny. So that's all that everybody does. There's no like sadness or this or anything. There's no complex like emotions. There's no emotions that is like more than one layer. um, so because of that, I just felt like everybody was just kind of giving like a very just shoot in like I'm just being me. Here it is. And I felt like Stavros was the only character in the show that was actually like given like actual like you have to actually do something. And with that, I thought that he did the best that he could. And despite the fact that he didn't do like let's say great, he still was the best. Like out of all those comedians who all suck at acting, he was the best one out of all of them.
Yeah, okay, interesting. I don't know about that because, like, I think Shane, like, yeah, he was playing himself, but it just felt very natural,
Of
you
course,
know?
just playing himself.
Right, but
Yeah,
it works because
yeah,
it's like, it doesn't. If you just look at it through the lens of the show and take the show by itself, like Shane looked super super natural there.
yeah.
The main actor was funny, but he also like seems like he's trying not to
Yeah,
laugh
yeah. He
all the
was he
time.
was very awkward. He was very awkward the whole show.
Yeah, like he always seems like he's on the verge of laughing,
Breaking, yeah,
where he's like supposed to be like
yeah.
the like voice of reason or
Exactly. Like
whatever.
he's supposed to. That guy's supposed to be the straight man, and he's supposed to be like this serious like guy, and he doesn't play that. Like he too
Yeah,
is like he too is just playing himself, and he fails to actually play the character that he's supposed to play. Like the show fails in a lot of like ways. Like it's not a good
yeah.
show. Like I said before, it's like it's a fun show, but it's not a good show. But again, I really do stand by it though. I think Stavros did the best. Like, and I think if you watch like this, if you watch more than the first episode, you might get like an idea of what I'm talking about because he gets better too, than how he was like in the first two episodes.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, interesting. I'll have to. Maybe I will keep watching though. I am interested in seeing what Stav does because his character was interesting. Like he's
Yeah,
just like this goth guy, which was kind of funny. But yeah, it just felt like I don't know how much Stav has acted in before, but it did feel like he was just kind of like reading off a script.
yeah,
Like in those scenes. Like I don't
yeah,
know, it
yeah.
felt like in a second he was going to be like, line please,
Yeah, yeah, and it never really stops necessarily feeling that way. It just gets a little bit better. It gets better,
Yeah,
and it's funny to me that they renewed this for a second season because then by the end of this, like I personally just felt really tired with Shane's character because again it was just like oh here's Shane being Shane in a scene written by Shane. It just kind of felt like
right.
so like blasé, like oh whatever man.
He does get annoying after a little
He
while. How he's
does.
just like just doing that Shane Gillis thing where he's just like, come on, go on, dude,
Yeah, that's
dude,
the problem because
dude,
the whole show is him doing that, and like
dude.
it shows like a great lack of like it shows like a great lack of I feel like self awareness because yeah you're playing yourself and you're basically seemingly just like ad libbing scenes, so he ends up doing that all the time. But when you
Yeah,
compare that to like the great self insert comedian shows like Louis, like Seinfeld or like fucking the king of them all, Curb Your Enthusiasm. There's just no
yeah,
self awareness with that, where it's like all these other guys are trying to play, specifically Louis and Kurt and Larry with Curve. They're playing like these versions of themselves that are they're you know not them just kind of doing like this fantasy like self-insert like wish fulfillment shit where they always get the win at the end of the episode or they always do the right thing, which is basically what fucking Tires is.
Yeah. Louis shits on him, so he makes
Exactly.
himself look terrible.
Yeah, and that's always what helps you root for the guy because it's like he's not trying to be like self-aggrandizing.
Right.
So yeah, again, there's a lot of failures to the show. It's fun and it's entertaining. And if you want to watch the show, you'll watch the show, and then you'll be like, oh my god, I can't believe I watched the show. But like I said, it's not great.
Yeah. You know who actually is a good actor from Cumtown is Nick Mullen. He has one scene in the movie Jungle Land, and I watched that scene, and I haven't seen that movie, but I watched this scene because I was curious, and like he actually does pretty good. Like he just basically plays this like preppy douchebag in a bar. Really good. I mean, really good actor.
From 2019, it's a sports thriller.
Yeah, with the guy from Sons of Anarchy is the star, but
and Jonathan Majors.
Yeah, they have a scene where it's like the guy from Sons of Anarchy is like gets into like a confrontation with Nick Mullen's like preppy character in a bar, but yeah, like and Nick Mullen did a really good job in that scene. I thought played that part really well. But Nick Mullen just seems like a very like talented guy, like just kind of multifaceted talent. Like he's a very writer. He used to do this parody blog called Nicole Mullen, which is fucking hilarious.
It's really short. Every time that I see how short it surprises me.
Yeah, that's like a meme that
he's 5'2". Yeah.
Is he really 5'2"?
Yeah.
He's 5'2"?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. No way. Nick Mullen height. Holy shit.
Yeah, dude.
Wow. Okay, that's new. I thought he was like 5'6" or something. But...
Nope. He's a very short guy. He's a very short guy.
Wow, that is very short. Well, hey, he's a talented dude, though.
Yeah, he is. He is 100%.
Very talented guy. Like very obviously has some acting chops, and then very good writer. With that Nicole Mullen blog is like really well written. I've read some of the articles. Very well written, like hilarious, like satire kind of stuff. And there was something else too. Oh yeah, like impersonations, obviously, and then like his prank phone calls are hilarious.
I love his prank phone calls.
Yeah, those are great. Yeah, talented dude. But anyway, he'd probably at this point, if he heard this, was like, "Oh, this guy thinks I'm talented. I'm not fucking talented at all, man.
Yeah,
I hate myself."
He is the traditional self-deprecating comedian.
Oh, for sure. My good friend Nick Mullen. That's a meme in the Cumtown community for those who don't know.
We all know these guys personally.
Right. Anyway, and then let me see. Jack had never seen 8 Mile, so we watched that.
Oh, that's dope, dude.
Yeah. We've talked about 8 Mile on the podcast before.
We need to do a commentary for that. Everybody, comment if you want us to do a commentary for 8 Mile.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I won't even say anything. We all know how great 8 Mile is. One of the great movies of the 2000s. I think it's underappreciated.
I need to rewatch.
And I hope it one day gets the recognition it deserves, because I do think it's a very good movie. It does have like a little bit of a slump, maybe in like the midpoint.
It drags.
Like,
it drags. But it
drags a little
ends
bit.
So powerful.
Yeah. Like the first act is amazing. I think I think that movie lacks like a solid midpoint turn, like usually in the midpoint something big happens, and I think maybe that movie lacks it, if I'm not mistaken. But then the end of the second act is great, like where he gets beat up and everything, and then on into the climax. But anyway, I think it's super well written. I love the feeling of like just this sort of idea. The movie has a lot of spirit of like, hey, we're all kind of like in the hood, and we have these shitty jobs and shitty living situations, but like, hey, we're gonna like, hang out and make the best of it, and I love that camaraderie in that movie and that feel, very very like hopeful film, you know. But anyway, and then I rewatched. I hadn't seen it since I was like 10, but I rewatched a British kaiju movie from the 60s called Gorgo, and it was basically like a Godzilla ripoff. It's okay. It's pretty average. Like it's a fun kind of little like monster flick.
Yeah.
Really poorly written like characters like that are super flat, just flat Stanley characters. Super one dimensional, dumb, stupid. But the monster stuff's good and it's got a good plot. So, but
Gorgo.
yeah, I wanted to Gorgo. I wanted to revisit it because they just started making this like small indie comic book publisher just like bought the rights to it and started making comic books based on based on the character and introducing like other kaiju, so doing like kind of a Godzilla thing but with Gorgo. And I thought that was kind of funny or kind of cool. I mean, I don't know why I said funny. Kind of interesting, so it made me want to revisit it. But yeah, not one of the best of the kaiju, you know, subgenre, but pretty good. The monster looks cool.
It looks cool.
And it's got a cool name, Gorgo.
Gorgo.
I like that name. Gorgo.
Gorgo.
I think it's a pretty tough sounding name.
It's like such a Godzilla ripoff. It's like, oh, it's not Godzilla, it's Gorgo.
Right. I think originally too it was like supposed to be a Godzilla movie, and then the script got like repurposed in Britain or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then to like pay tribute to Godzilla, I believe it opened in Japan first, like before it opened else.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool. Anyway, and then let me see. I just started a novel, a sci-fi action western novel called The Strange by Nathan Ballingrud. I think it's his debut novel. I've read his some of his short stories, so I was interested in picking up this novel. It's pretty good so far. We'll see where it goes, but it's basically like just basically a western kind of thing that takes place on Mars, and then has some other interesting sci-fi elements too. And I thought it was interesting too. It takes place in like the 1920s, so it's like an alternate, like retro futuristic kind of thing, like alternate history, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was an interesting choice as well. Like people on Mars are watching like silent films and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Kind of cool. We'll see where it goes.
Like
it's kind of like it's like a revenge thriller kind of thing. So western.
Yeah.
That's about it.
All right, dude. Well, I guess that's our recaps. Everybody, if you guys are ready, if you're ready, Jake, I guess it's time for the film of the week.
Do it, dude.
All right, guys. I think this is a surprise. I guess you guys will see it from the title, but I remember I didn't say what film we were doing last week, but this is Lady Snowblood from 1973, directed by Toshiya Fujita. This is based on a manga, a Japanese graphic novel, by the same name, written by Kazuo Koike and Kazuo Kamimura. Dude, what did you think about Lady Snowblood?
I really liked it, man.
Yeah.
I thought this was, I loved it. I mean, obviously, very big influence on Kill Bill.
Oh, dude, humongous.
Humongous influence. I thought the revenge angle was actually more powerful, though.
I thought so too.
Not even in the sense of like it was more layered, because in like Kill Bill, it's a very personal kind of revenge quest where it's like, hey, these people wronged me, killed my fiance, you know, my unborn or whatever, and now I'm gonna get revenge on them. Where in this one, the idea
generational trauma.
Yeah, so I'll just go into positives real quick. We can trade off positives, then negatives, and positives on this. Like the biggest positive would just be the concept. I thought was very interesting of having sort of a surrogate revenger, so to speak. Very interesting concept where it's like, hey, like this child, I can't get revenge, but my child is gonna avenge us, you know. which is very fucked up, man, because it's like very messed up. Because while I absolutely I absolutely sympathize with the mother character. I mean, horrible shit was done to her, obviously. That goes without saying. And I would be just as bloodthirsty as she was. But to sort of then sort of take that burning ember and place it in your child's hand is fucked up, you know? It's very interesting. Uh, yeah, I thought that was a very interesting concept.
Mhm.
This idea, and you kind of watch it, and I'm wondering, it's like, is there even maybe like a supernatural aspect to this where it's never overtly stated, but it's like, is the mom's spirit like
Mhm.
within her? You know, because
Right,
she said
right.
that when she was about to die, but you don't
Yeah,
actually know that was the case, you
exactly.
know?
Yeah.
And there's no evidence that it was. I'm going to say it probably wasn't, but it is an interesting sort of metaphysical idea to think about, that the mom's spirit was somewhere in, Lady Snowblood sort of taking revenge, which metaphorically definitely was the case. But yeah, I thought the action sequences were great.
Mhm.
You know, those were solid. Very gory. I was
Yeah.
pretty surprised how gory they were, which obviously, like,
I
you know,
I loved it, dude. I love like just the just blood,
yeah,
just the blood just gushing everywhere.
yeah, exactly. And you definitely see where Tarantino,
Hmm.
that was a big influence on Kill Bill.
Hmm.
I would say there were a lot of other movies that were probably that influenced Kill Bill, though. Like, I would say just as much as this one, like, because like in Kill
Bruce
Bill they
Lee,
do.
like what Enter the Dragon.
Mm, I would say like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon was probably a big influence on Kill Bill, or at least stylistically,
Yeah,
because they do that whole thing of like, like running on air, which I think happens at like one point in this movie, maybe.
I think Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon didn't that come out like the same year or like the year like right before it came out?
Oh, did it?
I think
Maybe I'm.
so. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was in the '90s. Crouching
No,
Tiger. Oh, 2000. Okay, yeah, never mind. Well, that style,
that style
if you.
that was an old style, like outside of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but that anyway. That's besides the point. Yeah. So yeah, and I don't know. It's like the on a technical level too. I mean, I thought the movie was beautiful.
Yeah.
Obviously, when at the very beginning, I was like, hell yeah! Like when those opening titles hit
Yeah.
with just the snow
Yeah.
and it turns red and the title comes up, and then music, the soundtrack, the score in this film
It was
was
great.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I think my favorite instance of the score, um, and it had everything in a score that I like, which are those little like just ear candy like things within the score, those subtleties, man.
Mm.
I love those little subtleties with like weird sounds that you're not expecting,
Mm-hmm.
in the score. I love that stuff. Like, some of my favorite scores have that in there. Like I think that the show Hannibal does that really well. Just
Mm-hmm.
got those little, like, subtleties in the score where all of a sudden you're listening to the score and then you just hear this weird sound and you're like, what the fuck's that instrument? What was that?
Yeah.
But it creates like an eeriness, and this movie did that really well. Um, I think my favorite instance of the score was when she's standing in the cemetery right after she kills the guy on the beach,
Mm-hmm.
um, and then she cuts the roses on his
Mm-hmm.
grave or whatever.
Breaks her sword.
Yeah,
Yeah.
um, that like when she's standing there, the wind's blowing, and that flute is going. Man, that was just beautiful. That was sublime, dude. Um, and yeah, what about you, man? Give me
No,
some positive.
I agree with
Like,
you. I agree with you in terms of like I thought the music in this film was a really big standout. And like you, I also love the presentation. I love just those like smash like zooms, into her face or into people's faces, the
yeah,
close-ups of her eyes. I thought that she gave like a great performance. What's her name?
yeah,
Meiko Kaji. I thought she gave a great performance. And it's funny because the whole time I was watching this movie, I was like, Tarantino stole this movie wholesale. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, instead of being instead of being the child of a pregnant woman seeking revenge for what happened to her, it's like, oh, it's just the mom herself and she lost the child, and it's like, oh, but it's like, it's the same thing. It's like, oh, it's a group of bandits. They all split off, and now they're doing their own things, And this girl has to go and like meet them. Obviously, with Tarantino, it's like he took that like to another level, and obviously he matched this movie's like idea and concept and execution with his own influences. Grindhouse or Bruce Lee movies or you name it. So obviously it's not one for one the same thing, but it's so like similar. And
Yeah.
so many of the stylistic like intricacies and like of the directorial choices that this movie makes, and again in terms of like those smash cuts and those like zooms and the close-ups and a lot of the musical cues, just took that and just entirely like put it on Kill Bill. And it's funny because on the trivia it also says that he took the Meiko Kaji. She's also the main actress is also a singer, and she has a song called Shura no Hana, which Tarantino put the song on Kill Bill. So he was like, obviously, he's very self-aware. He was paying tribute to the movie, but it's fascinating, because it's like it's one of those things where it's like you watch the films or that inspire an artist, or you listen to the music that inspires an artist, and you see how much of it came from that, and it's fascinating. I love doing stuff like this because it just kind of demystifies um, the creative process, because you can be again, you can be somebody who you watch Tarantino and you're like, oh my god, how did he how did he come up with all of this? And it's like, oh, he didn't, like a lot of it he just borrowed, and reshaped and combined it with other things. It's always so fascinating. I remember when I took a class on Paul Thomas Anderson, which is obviously like a filmmaker that I hold to high regard. And I took a class with which was like it was basically Paul Thomas Anderson and Robert Altman. And in watching those Altman movies, I was like, oh my god, he just took so much. Like
Yeah.
he just took so much from Robert Altman. Like he just took so much so that when Robert Altman was directing his last film, which I think is called Before the Devil Knows You're Dead, Altman was like so old by that point that they had Anderson there. Like Paul Thomas Anderson was just there in case Altman died midway through production. So he was just shadowing Altman, and if Altman kicked the bucket in the middle of the film, PTA was going to take over and finish directing the movie.
Wow.
It's to that extent. So it's like it's fascinating, And when Tarantino, this movie just really just demystifies the whole guy and Kill Bill as a film. But again, I give so much credit to this movie. Again, I thought the movie was beautiful. I love the shots were just gorgeous. All the shots that had to do with the snow and outside were great. I love the action sequences are very quick, and I thought that was to the benefit of the film because obviously you're having to deal with 70s, 60s filmmaking and effects, special effects and choreographing action sequences with like a female actress singer who maybe you need to do some cut around certain things, but I still felt like they executed it like really well. Like I said to you, I love those blood like just gushing, like splashing like everywhere. There's like just like broken faucets of blood. I was a big fan of them. And I was a big fan of just like how unstoppable in a way she was, with her sword skills and how she would just cut people up, when that one lady, I forget what her name was, the evil lady, when she runs away and after trying to like shoot her and then they find her and she just like hung herself and then she just like slices her in half. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. Oh, and the way her eyes were just like, trained on Snowblood, like while she was hanging too. That was like, holy shit, man.
Yeah.
That was bone chilling. One thing I will say too, I want to, I want to, you brought a very interesting point, I think, about art and like inspiration. Cause really, I do think that like all art really is at the end of the day kind of a Frankenstein's monster
Yeah.
of just different influences, you
Yeah.
know, and it's just like, how well can you Frankenstein these elements
Exactly.
in? Because, you know, like the novel I'm writing right now, like when people ask about it, it's like, oh yeah, it's like basically the Dark Crystal meets Hellraiser. You know,
Right.
that's like kind of what I tell
Right, and
people.
that's the importance of being knowledgeable, right, about like art and culture, because it's like then you have a lot of things to access.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it's super important. Yeah, it's like exactly. And it's it really is like sometimes when I'm writing this novel, I'm like, you know, this novel I'm working on right now, it's like, okay, this thing's from Stephen King's The Dark Tower series, and then I got this element from
Mm-hmm.
a Leonardo da Vinci sketch. I thought that was cool, so I added that. And then I got this plot element from, you know, this movie, and I got this character element from, you know, the show The Boys,
Yeah.
you know, and I got this world building element from Rayman 2, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's like all this, for those listening, I didn't say Rain Man 2, I said Rayman 2, just so there's no confusion. It's a video game. There's no Rain Man 2 with Dustin Hoffman as far as I know.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, so that's one. And then two, yeah, like I totally agree. With regards to the actress who played Snowblood, her performance, once in a lifetime performance. Like, dude, I have not felt. I rarely, you know, I could count on like two hands the amount of performances I've seen where, you know, either a villain or a villainous character will be on screen, and I actually like feel their gaze piercing me. You know, I actually like feel some fear. And this was definitely one of them. Like there were shots where you're looking at her face, and it's like, holy shit, dude.
She was very intense.
She's gonna, yeah. I was like, dude, she's gonna like pop out of my closet tonight and stab.
Yeah,
like,
dude, she was so intense.
Very intense, man, incredibly intense. And yeah, like you said, the fights, I think they were fine. Like it was one of those things where I think this is how I kind of feel about the show The Boys. Weird comparison, but it's going to make sense. Like the fight scenes in The Boys are actually, the choreography is like not good, or it's not bad, but it's just not like anything to write home about. And that's fine because the plot is so good. It's like you don't even notice. Like I didn't even notice until someone said it.
Right.
And that's kind of how I felt about this movie, where it's like I didn't even really notice the choreography because I was just invested in sort of this revenge sort of mission, you know, and sort of the philosophical aspect of the narrative. What would you say? Did you have any like gripes with the movie? Oh, well, actually, one thing before you go, just in terms while we're on violence, I did want to bring up too, like the scene where the mom is recounting how she killed that first guy who was like raping her or whatever. That scene is intense,
it is
dude.
Intense. Yeah.
Like when he's just on him, like just stabbing him. Dang, dude. Not much more to say. I just thought that was very intense, and I liked the build up to it too. How she's narrating, and at first it's just like still images.
Yes, I loved that. I loved that. I thought it was so good. I thought that was great.
Yeah. And again, this is something that I don't think a lot of movies or shows do enough. Is like very oddball, kind of like out of left field communication of visual information. Which again, like I'll bring up Hannibal. I think Hannibal is like one of the greatest pieces of media of all time, and I think that's something that show excels at.
Yeah.
And you know, obviously like the work of Kubrick, David Lynch, and a lot of directors you could come up with, but that sort of almost like pseudo psychedelic way of, or even like pseudo documentary way of communicating visual information is really, I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Yes. But I guess to answer your question, like there were a couple of things in this film that I guess to modern sensibilities, I was just kind of like, what? You know, like some eyebrow raising stuff. Like when he cut the girls, like when he was just when as a child she was training, and then her master like kind of tries to slice her because he's like training her by using his real sword, and her clothes go flying, and I was just kind of like, I don't know about that, you know.
Yeah,
There was like
yeah,
some stuff where I was just like, you know, in a perfect world, you know, you don't approach that way, or you know, do that differently than just to have a child like that in a movie. um
right.
but other than that, like other than like just like stuff like that, I was able to like I said, just like really enjoy myself when it came to how the movie kind of depicted itself. I thought it was very impressive, like the period piece element of it. I didn't feel like there was like any discrepancies. Like, you know, obviously maybe if like combing through the film, you could find them, or like if you go to like IMDb looking for like weird like errors or like a camera in the shot. I mean, there was like a scene where there was like a hair on the on the lens, and it's like, well, what can you do? You know, you're shooting on film, so it's you know, there's small technical things, you know, that I could be like, I could complain about. I'm not gonna complain about any of that. Um, Other than that, man, I mean, it's an hour and a half film. You know, I always love when movies are an hour and a half, because I feel like, you know, if you don't have to go past that, then don't go past it. Obviously, I love long movies. A lot of a lot of my favorite films, a lot of the movies that I've given 10 out of 10s to are like 2.5 plus hour long movies. But I love a good hour and a half long film, and I thought this was one of them. Um, Love the violence, loved the visual execution of the film, the visual language, and how the movie was presented, like you said. Loved the music, loved the color, like the how this movie came out, like being exposed. I thought it was great. I loved kind of like the chapter sequences that it had. Um, and I loved the commentary that it made, because again, it was like about this like cycle of vengeance, and about
Yeah,
this kind of like generational trauma thing where it's like, you know, she was born to this world for the purposes of fulfilling her mom's like vengeance. And like you said, we don't know if her mom's spirit is inhabiting her or not, or what's going on. It's never really made clear. But what is made clear in the film, in a very subtle way, is that this girl was robbed of her innocence and of her childhood. She didn't have a child. She didn't have like an actual like child experience, and I thought that was very powerful. When you kind of look at her character, because I feel like it's easy to think that her character is like shallow, and I don't think so at all. I thought her character had actually like a lot of like depth. Um, I thought the ending was a little bit clunky, a little bit, you know, with like, oh, that guy's actually alive, and the other guy being like, oh, he's my father. And it's like, what, you know, and then a little bit of like that execution. I did like that, like all like her, I guess like a code in a way that she had, where she let that guy shoot her just because, um, you know, she went through his son to stab him. And then obviously when she's walking out in the snow, we have that guy's daughter like stab her, and then they make eye contact, and she's like, I guess I'm just gonna stab you and go. um Loved how the movie ended. um yeah, I really don't have much in terms of complaints. I thought it was a great film, honestly.
yeah, I did too. I'll agree. I think the ending, like, that was my big gripe with the
Mhm.
movie. The whole twist of like that guy is the reporter's father. I was
Yeah,
like,
that was
what?
so that came out of nowhere. That was so strange. I was like, what? Yeah, like when
For a
he said it,
second, I thought it.
I was like, did this, what, you know, I was so confused.
Well, so for a second, I thought I rewound it just to make sure I read it correctly, like the subtitles, and then I was like, "Is this an error in the subtitles? Like,
No.
is he? That's what. No, I know that now, but
Yeah.
like um, at the time, like I was like, wait, so did he mean to say he's your father to Snowblood because the guy, you know, forced himself on her mother, um, which it wouldn't have been like a huge twist, but it would have made more sense.
Hmm.
So I had to go on Wikipedia to like check, and it was like, no, it's nope, it's the reporter's father, and that didn't like pay off in any way because it didn't give him like any sort of
No.
conflict or
No,
anything.
no, because then he
It
was still
really
with
came out
yeah, he was
of
still like
nowhere.
with her. He was still like, I guess we're gonna go kill my dad.
Yeah, and it just didn't add any sort of no, it added no additional conflict, no additional stakes, and it just didn't inform like the theme or I didn't it's like they weren't really even saying anything. It's like
Mhm.
someone all of a sudden was like, we need some kind of twist.
Yeah.
Um But yeah, it's like wouldn't it have made sense if that was her father,
Her father.
Like,
That would have made sense. But then it's like, well, how? How did you? They could have made it. They could have made it work somehow. That it was like that she learned
yeah,
that, but yeah, it didn't make any sense for and like you said,
yeah, they
it
would
didn't add
know.
anything to the narrative. It was like so clunky.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like okay.
And I guess you're right though too, because you said how, and you're right because they didn't have like DNA testing, so
Yeah.
it's like her mom unfortunately, had herself forced upon by like a ton of guys, so it could have
Yeah,
been anyone.
exactly. That's what they said at
Uh,
the beginning of the movie. Like, this kid could be anybody's. I don't know. I feel like they could have just left it at, oh, the guy's actually alive. He faked his death. I think they didn't he have to then be like, also, and this guy's his son. It's like, for what?
yeah, that was so weird,
Yeah.
dude. That made no sense. But other than that, yeah, I didn't have like any major issues with it. And yeah, like I agree. Like I think the whole cycle of revenge, it's like it was very well done because it's
Yeah.
like, okay, well, these guys created like a lot of pain and suffering, obviously for the mom, but then, you do with vengeance, you kind of have to, which I'm not like, I'm not like an anti-revenge person. Like revenge does have utility within like human psychology. It does, like, I read once that the desire for revenge evolved to sort of like keep social groups like in line and accountable, so I'm not completely anti-revenge, but I do think that there is like a cost to it, and
Right.
in this movie highlighted that. And I think
Mhm.
most intelligent revenge films and revenge stories do highlight that aspect of it,
Right.
where it's like there's going to be a cost to this and you better be willing to pay it, um, and yeah, like in this it's like, okay, well, you basically you took away, you lost your life, and that in childbirth, and that was terrible, but now you've also kind of taken away your child's life, and the
Exactly.
child
Yeah.
didn't do anything to deserve that,
No.
so yeah, very interesting. And yeah, these Eastern revenge stories too are really interesting.
They are
Like
very interesting. Yeah.
Oldboy is fucking incredible.
10 out of 10. Love Oldboy.
Yeah, so good. I gotta watch Oldboy
Yeah,
again.
always one of my. If everybody's curious, Oldboy's one of my 10 out of 10 films. That's a perfect movie.
Yeah. You know what's better about a lot of Eastern revenge films too, like Oldboy, for example, is like the revenge is always like so elaborate, where I feel like Western revenge stories, it's more often than not, there's exceptions, but more often than not, it's just very much like, I'm going to go kill him because of this.
Right, right.
But I like those like sort of these like more elaborate revenge schemes where it's like, I'm going to, like an Oldboy, it's like, I'm going to put this guy in a room for 15 years.
Yeah.
And then when he gets out, he's going to hook up with this chick, but it ends up.
Yeah, I guess
spoiler.
we should go into that. But it's
Yeah, I
fascinating
shouldn't go
because
into that.
it's fascinating because it's also like what I love about that movie too, and I mean maybe we can just maybe do a rewatch of that movie for the podcast. But what I love about that movie too is that it's like the whole thing starts from such like an innocuous, like it's not because somebody killed somebody, or it's not because of anything like that. It's just like a very small thing that just rippled into this
Yeah.
ocean wave of consequences.
Yeah,
This
for
tidal
sure.
fucking wave of consequences.
Yeah, 100%. Good. What would you rate Lady Snowblood?
I think this is a great film. Um, Interestingly enough, like I have to rewatch Kill Bill, but I haven't. I saw Kill Bill like not too long ago, maybe like a few years ago, three years ago maybe. Um, I mean, I love Kill Bill. I think Kill Bill though stands like above this film. Um, I think Tarantino was like managed to excel like this movie. But I think this movie still has its merits, and I think this movie is also just beautiful film. And I think this is a great film. So this is gonna go with my great films ratings. This is an 8 out of 10 for me.
Nice. I'm feeling like, yeah, either a strong 7, light 8 on this one.
Yeah, yeah, that's where I'm at.
That's where I'm at.
That's what. Oh, I forgot about that, dude.
Old prank call.
That is an old Franco reference for us. But yeah, 8 out of 10, great movie. Everybody, thank you for joining us in this episode. Jake, do you have a film for us for next week?
Well, I didn't, but I do now, dude. Let's watch Oldboy.
Oh, whoa, whoa!
Let's fucking do it, dude.
Holy shit, dude! All right, I am very happy. I'm very excited. And what Jake means by let's watch Oldboy, he means let's watch the Spike Lee 2013 Oldboy with Josh Brolin.
No, dude. Although I do want to see that one just for laughs.
Oh, you haven't seen that thing yet? Oh my god! Oh, dude, don't.
No,
watch,
I
don't watch
haven't.
that movie.
I've been dodging it.
Dude, if you watch the movie, it'll just make you like appreciate. It'll just make you be like, "Oh my god, Oldboy really is just like God's gift to cinema." Like if you watch Spike Lee's Abomination.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Everybody, join us next week. You guys already know what I rated Oldboy. I'm not gonna change. I'm definitely not changing my rating. I adore that movie. Join us next week for Oldboy 2003 Park Chan Wook. Be here or be squared.
Get hyped.
Get hyped.
Later.
Next time on Film Tangents, we're out.